In the dusty records of ancient Mesopotamia, inscribed on fragile clay tablets and preserved for millennia, a world-altering event is recorded, one that would forever change the course of human history. According to these enigmatic texts, Earth was visited by powerful beings from the heavens, known as the Anunnaki. These celestial visitors descended from the stars, bringing with them knowledge, technology, and a purpose that would intertwine their fate with that of humanity. Among the Anunnaki, a select group of 200 astronauts, the Igigi, also called the Watchers, were stationed in orbit high above the planet. Their role was not merely to observe, but to oversee a grand operation, the extraction of gold from Earth's rich veins, a resource vital for their own survival. The mission of the Igigi was clear. They were to secure gold, not for personal wealth or adornment, but to repair and sustain the delicate atmosphere of the Rizkians' distant home planet, Rizka. This task was grueling, relentless, and essential for their civilization's survival. The Igigi, isolated in their celestial outposts, watched as the Anunnaki engineered a new species, Homo sapiens. These early humans were created to toil in the mines, enduring backbreaking labor under the watchful eyes of their overseers. Over time, the Igigi grew weary and restless. Their isolation bred discontent, and the endless monotony of their mission weighed heavily on their spirits. They longed for connection, for purpose beyond servitude. From their lofty vantage point, the Igigi became captivated by the beauty and vitality of the world below. Have you ever wondered if ancient stories of gods descending from the heavens were more than just myths? Across the world, ancient texts describe powerful beings, called the Watchers, Igigi, or Apkallu, arriving not as conquerors but as teachers. These stories appear in Sumerian cuneiform, the Book of Enoch, and Mesoamerican legends, all describing celestial visitors sharing knowledge with early humans. How did humanity leap from stone tools to advanced metallurgy and astronomy so quickly? Mainstream archaeology says it was gradual, but the texts suggest a sudden, deliberate transfer of knowledge. Imagine early humans huddled around fires, suddenly encountering beings of light with technology and wisdom beyond comprehension. These visitors didn't just observe, they taught, guided, and uplifted humanity. Was this a coordinated effort to accelerate our development? Some texts hint these beings were exiles, rebels who defied their own kind to help us. If true, our science, art, and medicine may have been gifts from the stars. This idea challenges everything we know about our origins, suggesting we're part of a cosmic story. The simultaneous rise of advanced knowledge in ancient cultures, from Egypt to the Maya, points to an external influence. Is it coincidence or evidence of a planet-wide educational program? The implications are staggering. Our civilization may have been sparked by extraterrestrial intervention. The question remains, were these gods actually ancient astronauts? The evidence, hidden in plain sight, invites us to reconsider our place in the universe. The daughters of men, with their grace and resilience, drew the Watcher's gaze and stirred desires that could not be contained. Led by their charismatic leader Semjaza, the Igigi made a fateful and rebellious decision. Defying the strict orders of their superiors, they descended to Earth, crossing a forbidden boundary. This act would forever alter the destiny of both gods and men. They took human wives, forging bonds that defied the natural order. From these extraordinary unions came the Nephilim, giants, men of renown whose feats and presence would echo through legend and myth for generations to come. But the Igigi brought more than just offspring into the world. They shared forbidden knowledge, science, arts, and advanced technology, wisdom that had been deliberately withheld from humanity by the Anunnaki elite. This bold act was a direct challenge to Enlil, the supreme commander of the Anunnaki, who wished to keep humans simple, obedient, and subservient. The Watchers' defiance threatened the established order and sowed the seeds of rebellion. The transfer of knowledge ignited a spark of ingenuity within humanity. Early humans began to innovate, to question, and to dream. But with this newfound power came the wrath of the gods who saw their authority slipping away. The world would never be the same. The actions of the Igigi set in motion a chain of events that would shape the destiny of mankind, leaving an indelible mark on history and legend alike. The Igigi's descent was not just rebellion, it was an educational revolution. Each chief among the 200 became a teacher, imparting advanced knowledge to humanity. In the Book of Enoch, Semjaza, or Semjaza, also called Azazel, Samuel, Iblis, Halal, and many more names. He is the 12th Lucifer and Satan, which is a title. Halal is depicted as the leader of the Watchers, a group of angels who descended to earth. The Igigi became known as the fallen angels. The concept of 200 fallen angels, often referred to as Watchers, originates from the Book of Enoch, specifically to Enoch. These angels, also known as Grigori, are described as having descended to earth, becoming enamored with human women and teaching forbidden knowledge. Their actions are considered a transgression against Enlil, leading to their fall from grace. Who were these teachers? In the ancient Near East, they were called the Watchers, 200 powerful beings sent to observe humanity. Led by Semjaza, they defied orders, descended to earth, and shared forbidden knowledge with humans. Each Watcher specialized in a field: metalworking, medicine, astronomy, delivering a structured curriculum. Mount Hermon became their landing site, the base for their grand experiment. The gods wanted to keep humanity primitive, but the Watchers saw our potential and chose to empower us. Their act was cosmic rebellion, risking everything to accelerate human progress. This theme echoes in myths like Prometheus, who gave fire to mankind. The Watchers gave us the blueprint for civilization itself. Their story isn't just legend, it may be a distorted memory of real extraterrestrial intervention. The forbidden knowledge they shared changed the course of human history forever. The Watchers delivered humanity's first curriculum, a complete package of knowledge to transform our species. Each Watcher was like a professor: ancient healer demonstrating remedies, historical figure in robes teaching medicine to attentive apprentices, Mesopotamian priest in healing rituals. Semjaza taught medicine, metalworking, and aesthetics. Barakiel and Kokobel taught astronomy and navigation. These lessons revolutionized life: better tools, effective weapons, healing, and the ability to track time and seasons. Humans built cities, healed the sick, and organized societies. The Watchers' teachings were practical, transformative, and comprehensive. Writing, building, healing, and understanding the cosmos, all were gifts from these celestial instructors. This was the ultimate technology transfer, a civilizational starter kit. The sudden rise of advanced skills across the globe suggests we had help. The ancient texts are clear. The Watchers were our first teachers. Their forbidden curriculum ignited the flame of human ingenuity. Azazel, also called Halal. He also had the title Satan, or Shaitun, and Lucifer. This title is now held by his grandson Baal-Adad, who is Enlil's son. Baal-Adad is also called Beelzebub. Semjaza also had the title Atum, the chief leader. Semjaza is the leader of the 200 fallen Igigi, also called the fallen angels, who fell from heaven. Semjaza is a title which was held by Halal's father at first Tarnush. The title later was passed to him. The name Semjaza is interpreted to mean the infamous rebellious one, or he sees the name, one of his names is Gikun, Legion of Them, or Halal. He is the father of the disagreeable Anunnaki species. Some of them were called Garubat, Nephilian Nephilites, or Yahwehan. They became the rebellious Aluhum, called Garubat Cherubim, who followed Halal. They became Wahans after the split. Some of their children were called Anakims. Semjaza, who is also Azazel, taught enchantments and herbal medicine. He revealed metallurgy, weapon making, root cuttings, and the arts of adornment. Welding is considered a part of metallurgy. Metallurgy is the science and technology of metals, including their properties, behavior, and how they are processed. Metallurgy is the art of extracting metals from rock and shaping those metals into various implements and artifacts. Welding, as a process of joining metals, falls under this broader field, as it involves understanding how metals behave when subjected to heat and pressure, and how the resulting joints' properties are affected. More specifically, welding metallurgy is a specialized area within metallurgy that focuses on the scientific principles governing the welding process and the resulting changes in metal properties. Understanding how metals melt, solidify, and transform under different thermal conditions is crucial for achieving sound welds. You would have never learned how to weld if it was left up to Enlil. If it wasn't for Semjaza teaching the humans metallurgy, you would still be in the Stone Age, relying on tools crafted from stone, wood, and other natural materials. Advanced agricultural practices, which depend on metal tools like plows and irrigation systems, wouldn't exist if it wasn't for metallurgy. Advanced transportation methods like trains, cars, and airplanes rely heavily on metal components. Buildings would be significantly different without steel frameworks and other metal infrastructure elements. Metals are crucial for electrical conductivity, so the development of electricity, electronics, and communication technologies would be largely impossible without metallurgy. In essence, a world without metallurgy, human lives would be drastically different from current reality. It would be characterized by significantly slower technological and societal progress, and a reliance on materials and methods that are rudimentary by today's standards. Semjaza, also known as Azazel's teachings, were the most tangible. He introduced metallurgy, the art of turning raw ore into tools and weapons. With metal, humanity could build, farm, and wage war on a new scale. The Bronze and Iron Ages began, cities rose, and agriculture flourished. But the same knowledge that built plows also forged swords, transforming conflict into organized warfare. Azazel's legacy is everywhere, in our skyscrapers, electronics, and even the jewelry and cosmetics we use today. The mirror, a symbol of self-awareness and the arts of adornment, sparked the birth of culture and vanity. Every act of self-expression, every tool we use, traces back to these forbidden lessons. The term vanity is used for mirrors, especially those used for grooming, because it historically referred to a dressing table or the space dedicated to personal care and appearance. From Enlil's perspective, vanity means excessive pride in one's appearance, qualities, abilities, achievements, etc. Character or quality of being vain. Conceit, pretty much describing himself. Azazel, also known as Semjaza and Halal, handed humanity both progress and peril, a double-edged gift. The world's beauty and its violence share a common origin. Semjaza taught root cutting. Do you know what root cutting is? In a world where root cutting was impossible, several key aspects of our current interaction with the plant world would be significantly altered. Root cuttings are a method of plant propagation using a piece of root to grow a new plant. Without root cutting, this method of propagation would be lost, potentially impacting the diversity and availability of certain plant species, especially those for which other propagation methods are less effective. Today, it remains a valuable tool for gardeners and horticulturalists, particularly for propagating specific plants like brambles, figs, lilacs, and oriental poppies. So, Enlil didn't want you learning how to turn one plant into two. Semjaza taught the use of plants for healing and transformation, passing down the wisdom of roots, leaves, and flowers, and showing how nature itself could be harnessed to cure illness and alter the body and mind. These teachings became the roots of medicine and pharmacology, laying the foundation for the healing arts that would shape societies for millennia. Semjaza taught them cosmetology and mortuary. Cosmetology is the study and application of beauty treatment. Branches of specialty include hairstyling, skincare, cosmetics, manicures, pedicures, non-permanent hair removal such as waxing and sugaring, and permanent hair removal processes such as electrology and intense pulsed light. Semjaza taught them how to bury their dead. He showed them how to be mortician. A mortuary worker, also known as a mortician, funeral director, or funeral service worker, is someone who works in a funeral home or mortuary, handling the preparation and care of deceased individuals and assisting families with funeral arrangements. Mortuary cosmetology, also known as funeral cosmetology or restorative arts, is the specialized field of using cosmetic and restorative techniques to prepare a deceased person for viewing or funeral services. Semjaza taught them about the mirror and trichology. He showed them how to cut their hair, how to be a barber. Some of these children became your Barbary Moors. A barber is a professional who specializes in cutting, styling, and grooming hair, particularly for men and boys. Semjaza showed them how to do fades and how to do lineups. A barber lineup, also known as a shape-up or edge-up, is a haircut technique where the barber uses clippers to create clean, straight lines along the hairline, temples, and neckline, resulting in a sharp and defined look. If it was left up to Enlil, you would be walking around with a chili bowl and a pushed-back lineup. Semjaza showed them skills in various techniques like cutting, trimming, and shaping hair, as well as shaving and styling beards and mustaches. Barbers often work in barbershops and are known for their traditional barbering techniques, including the use of straight razors. Semjaza also taught these barbers how to be surgeon. A surgeon is a medical professional who performs operations, also known as surgical procedures, to treat injuries, diseases, and deformities. Semjaza taught them holistic healing, which is a comprehensive approach to wellness that addresses the interconnectedness of the body, mind, spirit, and emotions, rather than focusing solely on isolated symptoms or diseases. It aims to achieve optimal health by creating balance and harmony across all aspects of a person's being. Semjaza taught them. Herbal medicine, also known as phytomedicine, is a system of healthcare that utilizes plants and plant extracts to treat various conditions, promote well-being, and prevent illness. It involves using the whole plant or its parts, leaves, roots, flowers, seeds, etc., for their therapeutic properties. Herbal medicine is a traditional practice with roots in many cultures and is still widely used today, with an estimated 80% of the world's population relying on it for some aspect of their healthcare. Others taught astrology, astronomy, timekeeping, and the secrets of the stars. This was a comprehensive curriculum, transforming humans from primitive laborers into creators and thinkers. Humanity learned to forge tools, track seasons, adorn themselves, and contemplate the cosmos. The Igigi didn't just give humanity fish. They taught them to build boats and navigate the cosmic ocean. This forbidden education broke the chains of dependency, empowering humans and threatening the established order. For Enlil, an educated workforce was a dangerous, uncontrollable force. While Azazel armed humanity's hands with the tools of war and the secrets of forging weapons, shaping the destiny of entire civilizations through the art of conflict, the other Igigi took a different path. They armed the minds of humankind, opening doors to knowledge that had once been reserved for the divine. Divination is the practice of seeking knowledge about the future or hidden truths through various techniques believed to access supernatural or occult powers. It's essentially a way to gain insights, answers, or guidance by interpreting signs, omens, or through alleged contact with spiritual entities. Meanwhile, Baraqijel and Barakiel unveiled the secrets of the stars, blending the mystical art of astrology with the emerging science of astronomy, teaching people to look upward and wonder. Astrology is a system that studies the positions and movements of celestial objects like stars and planets, to understand their potential influence on human affairs and terrestrial events. It's a practice that has been around for millennia, with various cultures developing their own astrological systems. Modern astrology often involves interpreting horoscopes to reveal personality traits and predict significant life events. While astrology is considered a pseudoscience by the scientific community, it remains a popular belief system for many. Humans learn to read the heavens, track the passage of time, and mark the seasons by the movement of celestial bodies, skills that would guide agriculture, navigation, and ritual. They began to seek meaning in the cosmos, searching for signs and omens in the stars, and finding stories written across the night sky. Divination and the study of destiny gave people a sense of control and inquiry, allowing them to question fate and seek answers beyond the reach of the gods. These teachings fostered independence, reducing reliance on priests and divine intermediaries, and empowering individuals to interpret the world for themselves. Today, pharmacology, astronomy, and even astrology echo these ancient lessons. The ability to heal, to question, to observe the universe, and to seek answers in the stars was a profound shift in human consciousness. They taught them about calendars, timekeeping, days of the weeks and months. It marked the dawn of a new era, where knowledge was no longer the sole domain of the gods, but a gift shared among mortals. For Enlil, this was a direct threat. Knowledge was power, and power meant rebellion. The gods saw their authority slipping away as humans grew wiser and more independent. Semjaza's curriculum was intellectual liberation, a revolution of the mind that challenged the old order and inspired generations to come. And for the gods, this was not just a transgression, it was a crime against the very fabric of divine rule. The Igigi's influence extended beyond science. They sparked the birth of culture. Armariel taught the resolving of enchantments, laying the groundwork for logic, debate, and law. Humans learned to solve disputes, think critically, and build societies based on reason, not just force. Baraqijel and others introduced adornment, fashion, and self-expression, transforming appearance into identity. The arts of beautification and individuality became central to human life. Today's legal systems, education, and global beauty industries are echoes of these first lessons. Every argument in a courtroom, every fashion statement is a legacy of forbidden knowledge. The Igigi gave humanity the tools to shape not just their world, but themselves. The Anunnaki High Command, led by Enlil, was furious at the Igigi's interference. Humanity, once obedient workers, had become independent, inventive, and loud. Enlil saw the birth of the Nephilim and the spread of arts and sciences as a contamination of his grand experiment. He convened the Anunnaki Council and demanded a drastic solution. Humanity must be wiped out. The verdict was the Great Flood, a reset to erase the rebellious, enlightened species. For Enlil, knowledge was not a gift, but a corruption that made humans uncontrollable. The flood was not punishment for sin, but for independence. The gods sought to reclaim control by erasing the slate. The price of enlightenment was nearly total annihilation, but the spark of knowledge could not be drowned. Humanity's rapid advancement alarmed the celestial commanders. Once helpless, humans now built cities, cured diseases, and questioned their place in the universe. The knowledge from the Watchers was a double-edged sword, enabling creation and destruction. The gods saw their experiment spiraling out of control. Humans became powerful, independent, and at times violent. In response, the gods unleashed the Great Flood, a cosmic reset to erase forbidden knowledge and the hybrid Nephilim. The Watchers were punished, imprisoned deep within the earth, yet their teachings survived, hidden in the memories of flood survivors. The seeds of knowledge planted by the Watchers would eventually grow again. The uprising of knowledge could not be stopped. Civilization would rise from the ashes, built on the remnants of forbidden wisdom. The story of the Watchers is a warning and a testament to the unstoppable power of knowledge. After the flood, humanity rebuilt using the fragments of the Watchers' teachings. The sudden burst of knowledge in early civilizations, Sumer, Egypt, reflects this preserved wisdom. Our modern world, from medicine to architecture to astronomy, is rooted in these ancient lessons. Today's education system mirrors the Watchers' curriculum, specialized fields, shared knowledge, and the belief that learning empowers society. The idea that knowledge should be shared, not hoarded, began with their rebellion. Every scientific breakthrough echoes their ancient gift. The story of the fallen angels is not just myth, it's the memory of our cosmic origins. The evidence surrounds us, waiting for us to connect the dots. The Anunnaki's mission on Earth was never benevolent. It was driven by industrial desperation and a relentless need for survival. Their arrival was not a gift to humanity, but a calculated move to extract what their own world lacked. Nibiru, their distant and troubled home, desperately needed gold to repair its atmosphere and sustain life. Earth's rich, untapped deposits became the answer to their prayers, turning our planet into a vast resource to be exploited. But mining was grueling, even for the Anunnaki. When exhaustion set in, they engineered a solution: humanity. We were created not as equals, but as a labor force, biological tools designed for endless toil in the mines and fields. Enlil, the overseer, maintained his power through strict authority, demanding unwavering obedience and relentless productivity from both gods and humans alike. Everything changed when the Igigi, another group of gods, began sharing their knowledge. This transfer of wisdom shattered the old order, making humans more self-sufficient, inventive, and less dependent on their creators. For Enlil, this newfound independence was terrifying. It threatened the very foundation of Anunnaki control, introducing uncertainty and fear into their once absolute rule. The fear was not just about losing obedient workers, but about the possibility of creating rivals, beings who could challenge their authority and reshape the world. The story of Babel echoes this ancient anxiety. Humans, united and capable, dared to reach for the heavens, threatening the established order with their ambition and unity. The Igigi's teachings became a form of sabotage to Enlil's agenda, a quiet revolution, spreading ideas that would eventually empower humanity to question, to dream, and to rebel. In the end, the struggle for control versus freedom began with the lust for gold, but it was knowledge that truly set humanity on a new path, one that would forever change the balance of power between gods and men. The Igigi story mirrors the Garden of Eden. A divine authority seeks to keep humanity ignorant. In both, a rebel brings forbidden knowledge, and the consequence is expulsion and hardship. The message knowledge leads to punishment. Independence is rebellion. This ancient conflict echoes through history, Empires, churches, and regimes have always tried to control information. The spirit of Enlil lives in every system that fears an educated populace. The spirit of the Igigi is in every teacher, scientist, and innovator who challenges boundaries. Knowledge, even when forbidden, is the key to progress and liberation. Our civilization is built on defiance, a legacy of rebellion and enlightenment. We are the children of forbidden knowledge. In 2025, our world is shaped by the legacy of the Igigi. The skills they taught, metallurgy, astronomy, medicine, law, and art, are the pillars of civilization. Our universities mirror their curriculum. Our daily lives echo their lessons. The knowledge that once angered the gods is now democratized, accessible to all. The tension between control and enlightenment still defines our age, seen in debates over technology, information, and power. The Anunnaki narrative reminds us our drive for knowledge is our defining trait. We are the species that accepted the dangerous gifts of the rebel gods. The double-edged sword of knowledge is our inheritance and our destiny.